Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt invisible to women? Like you can be in the same room, maybe even say the right things, but it feels like no one notices you. Maybe your career is on track, your hobbies are in order, and your friends respect you. Yet when it comes to dating, there's this invisible wall between you and the women you're interested in. The truth is, most men don't realize how their behaviors, words, and attitudes can make them appear weak, not physically weak, but weak in ways that silently destroy attraction, push women away, and leave you frustrated, confused, and even angry at yourself. Maybe you've tried over-explaining, constantly seeking approval, or bending over backward to make her happy. You might have thought, if I just act nice enough, she'll notice me, yet somehow, she's giving attention to someone else. It's frustrating because you're putting in effort, but the results never match. The harsh reality is that being respected and desired by women isn't about flashy cars, wealth, or perfect looks. It's about attitude, emotional intelligence, and owning your value without hesitation. And here's the catch: if you're making certain mistakes, women notice immediately. They sense it in your words, your tone, and even in the way you hesitate. No matter what you have going on externally, weakness and attitude kills attraction every time. Most men struggle because they don't pause to reflect. They're stuck in cycles of overthinking, people-pleasing, or letting fear dictate their actions. And the worst part, you might not even realize it. The small behaviors add up, creating a pattern. A man who lacks confidence, a man not fully in control of his emotional life. By the end of this, you'll understand 5 subtle attitudes that are secretly sabotaging your relationships and appeal to women. I'll break down each one with relatable scenarios, explain why it's a problem, and show you how to shift your mindset and behavior. This isn't about pickup lines, shallow tricks, or pretending to be someone you're not. We're talking about emotional intelligence, confidence, and presence, the traits that naturally attract women and earn respect. You'll learn why constantly seeking approval lowers attraction, why over-explaining communicates insecurity, and why certain nice guy behaviors push women away. Stick with me, and you'll walk away with an actionable blueprint for transforming your approach, improving your confidence, and finally showing up as a man women notice and respect. Many men fall into the trap of saying yes to every request, bending over backward to make a woman happy, even when it costs them time, energy, or pride. They think if they do enough favors, she'll see their value. But constantly trying to please signals that your self-worth depends on her approval. People-pleasing creates imbalance. Instead of being seen as independent and confident, you appear to lack boundaries. Women are attracted to men who lead, who know what they want, and who don't crumble under pressure. The smarter move is to set boundaries, say no when necessary, and focus on building your life, your goals, and your passions. When you act from your own values rather than seeking approval, you naturally exude strength and confidence. Another common mistake is over-explaining yourself. Maybe you try to convince a woman of your good intentions with long-winded explanations, send paragraphs of text to clarify your feelings, or apologize excessively for minor things. Over-explaining signals insecurity and kills mystery. Women are attracted to men who have a sense of self, not dependent on constant validation. The smarter approach is to keep things simple. Speak with confidence and trust that your actions, not your words, convey your value. Emotional intelligence includes knowing when silence or brevity communicates more than words ever could. Fear of rejection is another subtle weakness. Maybe you hesitate to express interest because you're afraid of a no, or maybe you pull back when things get emotionally intense. Avoidance feels safe, but women sense it immediately. It communicates a lack of courage and decisiveness. Women are drawn to men who can handle rejection gracefully. Hesitation or avoidance signals emotional fragility, which is unattractive. The smarter approach is to embrace rejection as part of the process. Take risks, be upfront about your interest, and face discomfort head-on. Emotional strength comes from confronting challenges, not running from them. Confidence in handling rejection is one of the most magnetic qualities a man can have. Many men also seek constant validation. You might check for her attention, reactions, or responses to texts. Maybe your mood depends on whether she replies promptly. Constant need for validation is draining for both of you and communicates insecurity. Women can sense when a man's self-worth depends on external approval, which diminishes respect and attraction. The smarter move is to cultivate self-validation. Your value should come from within, not from her attention. Develop hobbies, friendships, and passions. Approach interactions from a place of self-assuredness, and you naturally become magnetic. Over-apologizing is another subtle weakness. Many men apologize for everything, even minor mistakes, or for things that aren't their fault. Fear of confrontation dominates. Over-apologizing makes you appear weak and submissive. Women respect men who take responsibility but also demonstrate confidence and leadership. The smarter move is to own your actions without groveling. Apologize when necessary, but do it clearly and confidently. Stand by your decisions. Emotional strength comes from being accountable while maintaining confidence in your choices. In my early 20s, I wasn't aware of these subtle attitudes. I over-explained myself, constantly sought approval, and avoided confrontation at all costs. I thought I was being nice, but I was undermining my own confidence. One moment stands out. I showed up late to a date and immediately over-apologized. She smiled politely, but I sensed disinterest creeping in. That sting was a wake-up call. Being nice at the expense of self-respect isn't attractive, it's weak. Observing men who naturally drew attention taught me that attraction isn't about money, looks, or charm alone. It's about presence, emotional strength, and the ability to navigate relationships without losing yourself. These men set boundaries, spoke with conviction, handled rejection gracefully, and validated themselves internally. That insight reshaped my approach. Emotional intelligence, self-respect, and presence aren't buzzwords, they're behaviors women notice instinctively. Weakness isn't about physical strength, it's about how much fear, insecurity, and approval-seeking drive your actions. Other behaviors quietly erode attraction. Reacting impulsively, getting angry, frustrated, or defensive signals emotional immaturity. Women are drawn to men who respond with calm clarity. The smarter approach is to pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully. This controlled reaction communicates strength and reliability. Trying to impress, constantly showing off achievements, money, or status signals insecurity. Flashy displays rarely replace authentic presence. The smarter approach is to let your actions speak for themselves. Cultivate competence and confidence. Avoiding emotional depth by keeping conversations light or shying away from meaningful discussions signals fear. Vulnerability, shared from a place of strength, builds intimacy and respect. Indecisiveness, struggling to make plans or decisions, communicates a lack of leadership. Confident decision-making signals maturity and security. Overthinking every interaction signals neediness and insecurity, which diminishes attraction. Relaxing, trusting the process, and focusing on the bigger picture allows confidence and presence to shine naturally. The key takeaway is that strength isn't about dominance, wealth, or flashy displays. It's about emotional intelligence, self-respect, confidence, and presence. Women are drawn to men who know themselves, own their emotions, and navigate life with clarity. Replacing weak behaviors with conscious, confident habits elevates your presence. Stop chasing approval, over-explaining, or fearing rejection. Validate yourself internally, respond thoughtfully, and let competence and character speak for themselves. This transformation isn't just about dating, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. A man with emotional strength commands respect, earns attraction naturally, and inspires those around him. Own your value, show up fully, and watch how the world and women begin to respond differently. If this message resonates, hit that thumbs up. It shows you're committed to leveling up and breaking free from weak attitudes. Subscribe for insights on emotional intelligence, confidence, and relationships, and hit the notification bell to never miss life-changing strategies. Comment below with the attitudes you recognize in yourself and the action you'll take today. Accountability reinforces growth, and small steps compound over time. Follow us on social media for daily motivation and tips. Start today, own your value, elevate your confidence, and watch women and life begin to see you differently.